If every sports media outlet has 23 hours a day reserved for LeBron coverage, that doesn't leave much time for anyone else. This is the list of players that have been playing great basketball but haven't gotten the love they deserve. The NBA's most underrated players in 2024. Coming in at 10, we have Alex Caruso. Now, Alex's game is predicated on flashy dunks and scoring a bunch of points. Alex does all the dirty work for the Chicago Bulls. Alex doesn't need to dominate the ball on offense to be effective. He's willing to take shots that come to him within the flow of the game. He can serve as a secondary playmaker even when set plays break down, and he rarely makes mistakes in the half-court set. Pair that with an improved perimeter shooting stroke and the multi-positional defensive player that helped him make the 2023 All-Defensive First Team. Alex's value could not be determined by his stats, but how he plays the game. He's a phenomenal player, Kevin Durant told reporters in early November after suiting up against Alex. I don't want to even call him a role player. He's a guy you can plug with any lineup, and he will make the right reads and right plays on the offensive and defensive sides. The Bulls are lucky to have him. Caruso has improved his team's net rating when he's on the floor during each and every one of his 7 NBA seasons. Alex is averaging 10 points, 4 rebounds, a block, and 2 steals a game. Coming in at 9, we have Jrue Holiday. Now, Jrue had a lot of doubters coming into the 2024 season after getting traded to the Boston Celtics. But once the season started, Jrue would silence those doubters. Jrue had always been known as a defensive juggernaut, and because of his quick feet and high IQ, he is the best guard defender in the NBA and a player who is guarding the opposing team's best player on a nightly basis. Jrue is great in the pick and roll and constantly getting deflections and steals. Jrue is shooting a career-best 43% from 3 and is the 4th or 5th option on the Boston Celtics, which have the best record in the NBA, and he is still averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal and a block per game. Jrue never gets the credit that he truly deserves by the public because a lot of the people don't see a lot of flashy plays, but Jrue has constantly been a great player for a long time, and after having a great 2024 season, the Boston Celtics gave Jrue Holiday a 4-year, $135 million contract at 33 years old. That just goes to show you how the Celtics feel about him, and how good he really is. And if he wasn't on a number 1 team in the NBA, he would be scoring at least 18 points per game. Coming in at 8, we have Jalen Johnson. Jalen had a few solid games in the playoffs last year, but this year he's taking his game to the next level. Jalen should be in the running for Most Improved Player of the Year award. Jalen's numbers have improved all across the board, and he went from averaging 5 points and 4 rebounds and 28% from 3 to 16 points, 8 rebounds, and a steal, and 35% shooting from 3s. Jalen has cemented himself as one of the best players at his position, as compared to last year when he was a mediocre rotation player. Jalen has the ability to put the ball on the floor, attack close outs, and create a little bit for himself on the perimeter. And on the defensive side of the ball, he's one of the most flexible wings in the NBA, and guarding multiple positions. And speaking on most improved players, you can argue he has improved the most. Coming in at 7, we have Naz Reid. Naz has seen significant more playing time since the injury to one of Minnesota's key players, Karl Anthony Towns. Naz crushes every offensive stat, and the way he plays the game is tough and electric. Naz has stepped up big time in 2024. Naz is one of the few big mans in the NBA who can beat you off the dribble, and space the floor and shoot 3s at a high percentage. Naz is shooting 42% from 3s this year, and that's better than superstars like Steph Curry, LeBron James, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant. And just to show you how good and consistent he's been the second leading scorer on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who's the number 1 team in the Western Conference at the time of this video. Naz is averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds, a block, and a steal per game, and is one of the most underrated players in 2023. Coming in at number 6, we have Bobby Portis. When we're talking about the Milwaukee Bucks, everybody talks about Giannis and Damian Lillard, and rightfully so. Giannis has been great all season, and his acrobatics have provided some of the craziest highlights. But when it comes to NBA players, Bobby has won the genetic lottery. Standing 6'10", 250 pounds, Bobby has the perfect attributes for a modern big. It's mind-boggling to see someone his size being able to run, jump, and move laterally as quickly and effectively as he does. Bobby has been a very underrated player for years now. Bobby excels both on the offense and defense. Bobby is able to space the floor and shoot 3s. Bobby also crashes a lot and gets offensive rebounds, and is able to switch on all positions on defense. And for the season, Bobby is averaging 14 points, 7 rebounds, a steal, and is shooting 41% from 3, making him one of the best in the NBA. Coming in at number 5, we have Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams is another underrated player and doesn't get some of the attention that some of the other teammates get. But Jalen has been dominant, being a 20-plus point scorer and the second leading scorer on the number 3 seeded OKC team shouldn't go unnoticed. Jalen is able to score on all 3 levels, shooting 69% at the rim and shooting 43% from threes. And Jalen doesn't just get it done on offense. He's a good defender. He's only 6'5", but his quickness and athletic ability help him defend guards and forwards. Jalen is a much better player than people realize and is going to be dominant for a while. He is only in his 2nd season and he can still improve a lot. Coming in at 4, we have Domantas Sabonis. Now, Sabonis doesn't get a lot of attention from the media, but he is one of the best in the game. Sabonis' impact on the Kings has been legendary, and he can't go unnoticed. Last year, he was the hub on the number 1 offense, not only in the league, but statistically of all time. And this year, his numbers are even better than last year. Sabonis is able to do everything on the court, with his post moves or his 3-point shooting or his amazing passing ability and his defense ability, being able to hold his own and a shot blocker averaging 20 points. He leads the league in averaging 14 rebounds a game and dishing out 9 assists a game, nearly averaging a triple-double. And people act like he's just an average player. He's an all-star, all-NBA type of player. Coming in at number 3, we have Dejounte Murray. If any NBA All-Star can walk on the street without getting recognized, it's definitely Dejounte Murray. Murray has been amazing for the Atlanta Hawks this year, and the year may have not as gone as planned, but Murray definitely did his part. Murray made a name for himself by playing defense, and this year not only was he playing defense, but his offense picked up a lot as well. Murray became an even better all-around player this year. With his 6'10" wingspan made it easier to grabbing steals and blocking shots. He was able to score, assist, and play defense. The Hawks shooting guard had one of his better years, averaging 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. Murray is an all-star and easily one of the best guards in the NBA, but he rarely gets mentioned by the mainstream media. Coming in at number 2, we have Alperen Sengun. The 21-year-old came out dominating. The offense was being able to run through the 21-year-old this season, and it looks great on both player and team. Alperen Sengun continues to set up his teammates from all over the court. He can grab and go, facilitate out of the post and from the elbows, survey or attack from the middle of the floor, fling passes out of the short roll, or toss entry lobs from the wing. Sengun has held his own in a matchup with Nikola Jokic, bullied LeBron James, served as the go-to offensive hub against the Golden State Warriors and averaged 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. Sengun still has room to grow on defense, but he's a creative offensive stalwart already figured out how to blend together physically and finesse against virtually every matchup. He's equally adept at filling a point center role as he is going to work in the painted area with his back to the basket, and he never stops hustling for rebounds or fighting for position when he's not in control of possession. Sengun is only 21 years old and has a lot to work on, but by his 4th or 5th year, he may be one of the faces of the NBA. Coming in at number 1 is De'Aaron Fox. Fox has had a stellar NBA career so far. Each of his first 7 seasons, his points average has went up each year. Fox has been averaging 20 points a game for the past 5 years, and he hasn't gotten any recognition. Fox is one of the fastest guards in the league, the NBA reigning clutch player of the year, and ranks 8th in scoring across the entire NBA. He is unquestionably a talented scorer, averaging 27 points per game. He is having his best scoring season yet and was not an all-star. Fox has made a huge strides on his 3-point shooting, shooting 37% on 8 3-point attempts per game. He has officially established himself as a true outside threat and a 3-level scorer. 55 games into the season, Fox has already recorded 19 games with at least 30 points, and including 6 40-plus point games. His reputation as an elite scorer is well deserved, but there is so much more to Fox's game. Much like he improved as a shooter, he also made strides defensively. Many star guards in the league rely on their supporting cast to take care of the defense for them. Fox doesn't do that, partly because he doesn't have many good defenders around him. Instead, he works hard, competes, and doesn't shy away from taking on some of the toughest matchups out there. Fox averages 27 points per game, 5 rebounds and 6 assists, and 1.9 steals per game. Thanks for watching.